Sunny day in the forecast. The 29 will be the high today. There's also a high UV index at about 7. It'll cool down to about 16 tonight. The winds should be light throughout the day. Current temperature is 15 degrees. Time right now is just about 20 minutes past 7. As of June 1st, anyone hurt in a serious car crash will receive significantly less in insurance benefits. The new rules apply to anyone in a vehicle accident. But the biggest cuts are for people hurt in catastrophic accidents, the kind of thing that can leave someone injured for life. That goes down from $2 million to a cap of $1 million. It's part of the provincial government's promise to cut auto insurance rates. Mike Smitiuch is a personal injury lawyer at Smitiuch Injury Law, and he joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in. So this is only one of a number of changes coming into effect next week, but this particular one about catastrophic injuries, how significant is it?
This is very significant, and I think the public really doesn't have a handle on this, so I welcome the opportunity to talk about it. What it goes to, essentially the most vulnerable, the most seriously injured people who are in a car accident are having their benefits cut in half as of June 1st. So you have people with brain injuries, we're talking people who are quadriplegics, individuals like that who really need the therapy and they really need the attendant services that go along with it.
Does this affect someone who has had a catastrophic injury in the past and is currently getting a settlement, or is it for people who have these incidents, accidents in the future?
It starts as of June 1st, so people in the past are okay. Once your policy renews after June 1st on, the new amounts are in play. So that's why it's really important that you go to your insurance company, you go to your broker and talk about getting what are called optional benefits to increase the amount.
Right.
As of June 1st, everybody will have the reduced coverage.
So $1 million might sound like a lot of money, but when you're talking about the degree of care that many of these people need, what is this reduction actually going to mean?
It will have severe ramifications for someone's rehab and how they improve. In my field, I deal with very serious injuries all the time. I see the benefit of good therapy, rehabilitation, and attendant care. What it will do is essentially limit the amount of proper care someone can get. The OHIP system is already busy enough, and it can't really give you the focused care that someone needs who is perhaps in a wheelchair. So although the premiums will go down a bit, you'll have some short-term gain, but you're going to have a lot of long-term pain for people with these serious injuries.
So is this the kind of thing that if someone is incapacitated for months or even for life, that they wouldn't be able to afford attendance, they wouldn't be able to afford new wheelchairs or devices that might help them with the quality of life?
Yes, that's exactly it. That someone, especially a younger person who will need this care for a long period of time, they won't have enough and there'll be a shortfall. And then where do they go? What do they do? And it opens up a whole can of worms, frankly.
Yeah, where's the pressure coming to make this cut?
Clearly, it's coming from the Wynne government's promise to reduce auto premiums by 15%. They're behind on that, and so the pressure is to find cuts somewhere so that the premiums can be reduced.
So we know insurance companies make big profits. Instead of cutting into that, what they're doing is affecting this catastrophic injury amount that is provided.
That's exactly it. They're putting on the backs of the most vulnerable members of society, those that need it the most. And frankly, the insurance companies are making good money. Our premiums are much higher than other jurisdictions, and there's just no excuse for this.
Who signs off on this?
It's the Wynne government. The Wynne government has made this promise. They have enacted legislation, and it's the Wynne government that have put forward this in order to keep their promise to cut premiums by 15%.
So what else should they do to make those improvements?
Well, people out here in the public need to know that they can get optional benefits. They can actually purchase more coverage, and that's really important. The other thing that people should do is they can increase their third-party liability coverage. So if you're actually in an accident and you want to protect your family, you can get more insurance coverage. Ultimately, it'd be nice if the government could make changes and add it back, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, so if you thought that you said the government should take another route, what else could they do to achieve the same objective?
Well, they can keep the limits at the same amount. What people don't understand is just because a limit is set at a certain amount, it doesn't mean you're automatically entitled to that amount. You actually have to prove the benefit that you're applying for. So they could have kept it at $2 million, and those that really need it the most, then could prove their entitlement and then get it. If they're so concerned about fraud, that's what the government says, they can enact measures to protect, in terms of the cost. They can have better fraud detection methods, but the people that need it the most shouldn't have their benefits cut.
Yeah. What would your advice be to the average person out there, who's going to be just driving their car? Maybe they're young, they think that they're safe, they're a good driver, they can handle it.
Well, don't put it off. Changes to your auto policy. Go to your broker, go to your insurance company, purchase the optional benefits. Everyone thinks that it won't happen to them, and then when it does, and I see this every day, it's a real tragedy. And when you add now the reduced benefits, it is even more tragic.
Thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Mike Smitiuch is a personal injury lawyer. Starting next Wednesday, June 1st, victims of catastrophic car accidents will receive half of the standard insurance payout they were previously entitled to. That's been cut from $2 million to $1 million.